Hey guys, welcome back to Movie Key Production channel. My name is Bernardo Cisneros, and today we are still continuing the month of October watching some spooky movies. And in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the horror films that are considered underrated that deserve more praise. So let's get right into it. So the first title right off the bat is The Night of the Creeps, starring Tom Atkins. This is an 80s sci-fi slash horror movie. It's fantastic. I remember like it was yesterday when I saw this film for the very first time in 2020, the pandemic era, and this film floored me and how what kind of movie this is. It's a fun 80s movie, but on top of that, it's starring Tom Atkins, the coolest actor. He was in Halloween 3. He was in some other great movies. Night of the Creeps is wonderful. It's so much fun, and this is a film. This is the type of film, an '80s horror movie that became more of a cult following over the years, and I love that. But it deserved more than just a cult following. It deserved more love for a movie to watch in the month of October because it had so many things you love. Gore, action, comedy, all at once, and it's just a hilarious and a fun time. It's the type of movie that you don't need a great script. All you need is a very entertaining film. That's what Night of the Creeps is for, an entertaining film. And there's some great character moments. Obviously, Tom Atkins' backstory in this character backstory is great and so engaging to watch. And it's just so many great practical effects that you're going to love. It's a great time. It's a great time. Thrill me. The next title just makes me happy for a lot of reasons why. This is a film directed by Kevin Smith, also written by Kevin Smith, and this is one crazy, insane film that is Tusk, starring Justice Long, Michael Parks, Haley Joel Osment, and Genesis Rodriguez. What this film is about, hear me out. So it's about this man played Justin Long, who's a podcaster, and he decided to go to visit to Canada to report something, and something bad happened about that. So he need to find another story for him to, to do for his job as a podcaster, and he came across this note about this man who survived and became friends with the Rowas. So he decided, let's meet this weird, unique person. So he did. And that real person played by Michael Parks. So, after the meeting with Michael Parks' character, something very suspicious about him. And then, all he wants, Michael Parks' character, is to turn to Justice Long character into a walrus. So basically, it's the human centipede meets Misery, having a baby, Tusk, and I love this movie. This movie is insane, and I love for it. It's a dark comedy, but at the same time, it's a great drama. It crossed those two barriers and meet it, and it actually, I love this movie. I really do. There's just so many great things going on about this movie. It almost feels like a spoof, even though it's not a spoof. There's a story to it. Obviously, Justin Long character is a douche. He's an asshole in the movie, but he played that character really well. And Justin Long is actually a very underrated actor. But when how to say this, it's gonna be hard because I don't want to spoil how it happened in the movie. But when you go to that point in the movie, I was shocked, speechless. Because I saw this on Netflix, and blew me away. It actually floored me, and I actually think that Tusk is better than the Human Centipede, in my opinion. Because for the longest time, I hated the Human Centipede. I seen the movie in its entirety. I never seen the sequels. I hated the Human Centipede. But Tusk, however, is almost similar to the Human Centipede, but not fully on. But I actually like Tusk. It's weird, but I'm a big fan of Kevin Smith's work. I love his comedies. Clerks, Clerks 2, Jay Silent Bob. All his comedy stuff. I love it. I love his work. I love Kevin Smith as a person as well. I'm a big fan of his filmography. But when he made this movie, it had me intrigued from the start. Like, Kevin Smith is doing a horror movie, a body horror movie. Sign me up and had me my curiosity. And it took me 2 years to finally watch this movie. Um, it floored me. Something about it just floored me, and it's just this movie is insane for it. And the fact that Kevin Smith took upon this story that he wrote and just put his full passion into it and made a very competent film. He made a very competent film. I mean, the way it was shot, it's really good. The way he directed it, it's just the way it's shot, the frame and all that. It's very unique from his filmography. I mean, compared to Clerks 2 over Tusk, yeah, this film and Clerks 2 is completely different. And that's what makes this movie so unique. And I know not a lot of people love this movie, or a lot of people hate this movie, or either this movie became a cult following. But I love this movie, and that's what makes this movie so underrated, because not a lot of people gave this movie a chance, or not a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people either didn't like it or hate it, and I think it's underrated because it's a great movie. Because the way that, I mean, Kevin Smith took something that's very risky and different, and he did it. He actually made a very competent film, and so many great moments in this movie that had me, engaged and just, riveted the whole throughout the runtime. Yes, there's my only criticism. There's some moments in the movie that drags a little bit. There's a character that I don't want to spoil it because it's another main part in the story, played by a very well-known actor. I kind of wish they would cut that out, cut that character out of the movie, and will make it more, it flow. I think it will make it flow better. Yes, it's a detective character. You need a detective to find just long character, but it's just a very cartoony character. I'll say that. Other than that, I love this movie. It's insane, and yeah, I love Tusk. I think Tusk deserves more attention and more praise than it should have been. I mean, Tusk is awesome. The Stepfather, starring Terry O'Quinn. This is a great, underappreciated, underrated slasher. A very unique slasher. I have not seen the remake. I know there's a remake that I have not seen it, so I have no opinions on it. So I do want to check out the remake, but we're going to talk about the original. And what makes this movie so great is that it's almost like a character study. It is a character study about this man who goes have many different identities and go after to who wanted to be a part in the perfect family. Basically, he wanted to have this perfect life, but something bad happened on his way that he does not want to happen, and the crazy things ensues. And that's all I'm gonna say, because there's a lot going on in this movie, but it's a really fun 80s movie. A very it's not well known, or it's in the top 10 favorite horror movies of all time. It's one of the most underappreciated slashers, if you will. It's really great. It's really fun. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. That's what makes this movie so great. It's a very unique, different slasher. It's not your typical slash. Yes, it is a slasher movie, but it's more of a slasher movie. It's a character study between Terry O'Quinn character, who just wanted to live in this perfect family life. And just, it's more an identity, personality disorder kind of performance that Terry O'Quinn plays out. Yeah, it's a really great movie. I really enjoyed it. It's very, kind of hidden, overshadowed by the other great slashers. So I think this deserves it in that, the best of the best slashers movie. I think that film did belong to that realm. So that's the Stepfather. Orphan. We recently got the sequel, Orphan First Kill, which I thought was okay. I enjoyed it, but it's not quite great as the first Orphan, though. I love this movie. So how did I, came across this Orphan, and why I love this movie? So I believe it was either 2010 or 11 when this movie came out. 2009. Okay, 2009. So probably around 2010 or 11 when I saw Orphan on TV on HBO, and I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it in its entirety. I saw the end of the second act all the way to the third act. So that's how my introduction to Orphan, and I saw it just the end of the second act all the way to the third act, and it had me engaged. Like, what is this? What is this movie? And oh my god, the twist! Ooh, something about this character that creeped me out, and that's how my curiosity on this movie. I never saw the beginning until I bought the Blu-ray, years later. Because that's a 17, 18. I got the Blu-ray, and it becoming one of my favorites. I love this movie so much because there's so much going on, and this particular character played by Isabel Furman played this orphan, very very different kind of human being that is you know unique, but at the same time very suspicious about this character that you just question like, who are you? But she played that character really well for a young age that she was. She was a young age. I mean, she was a young actress, and she played that character really well for a young actor, for a child actor. So well done, Isabel Furman. So many great moments, so many layers. It's more than a slasher. It's more. It deals with grief. It deals with addiction. It deals. Esther, this character came across with a family who wanted another kid, but very familiar character having troubling with her past, losing a baby that she was about to deliver, but she lost that baby, and it dealt with grief, and it almost feels like a broken family, but they're together, they love each other, but it's a broken family, and Esther trying to manipulate everything she goes to trying to be a perfect daughter, if you will. It's great. It's so engaging to watch. It's dark as well, but so many levity going on with the characters that is so well written, and that you understand why the familiar character is going through, and you understand how she feels. And then Esther is already iconic. Like, she is iconic to me. And the twist. I'm not gonna spoil it for the people who have not seen Orphan, but the twist alone blew me away. I was like, whoa, where is it going? Even though I have not seen the beginning of the film, when I first originally saw, and like I was like blown away, and yet intrigued, want to see what the beginning of the movie is, and then I saw it years later, and oh wow, it's more than a slasher movie. There's so much going on about this family and very familiar character, and just so much going on. So yeah, Orphan is very underrated. I think that I'm kind of glad this film has more attention over the years. It had becoming one of my absolute favorites of the years as well. That is it deserving to become one of the best. One of the top tiers best horror movies. So Orphan is just a great gem. Let Me In, starring Courtney Miss McPhee, Chloe Grace Moritz, and Richard Jenkins, directed by Matt Reeves, who was a filmmaker I become obsessed with. I love Matt Reeves as a filmmaker, and it's a filmmaker I trust whenever I trust a new project on the line for him, especially The Batman, which is a phenomenal film. Let Me In is a very unique take on vampires, and starring a very young Chloe Grace Moritz, which I had a crush on back in the day when I saw Kick-Ass, which is a great superhero movie, which is wonderful. Let Me In is really great. A very unique vampire story that's just, it's so cool to see something different in a vampire lore. That is not your typical vampire that we've seen so many times. This is very unique, but it's also like a very, a romantic movie, if you can take it that, because this is a horror movie, this is a vampire movie, but at the same time it's about this friendship between Cody Smith McPhee character and Chloe Grace Moritz character. It's about that friendship and how they understand each other, because Cody McPhee character is more like a introverted, shy, very unpopular. It's hard for him to fit in school and all that. And Chloe Grace Moritz is very also shy, but she's different. And you feel for the characters, like you kind of understand that they become a friendship, that they trust each other because they're so kind of alike. They're very much alike, but different from another. Let Me In is a great movie. It's a great film, but I have not seen the original Let the Right One In, and I need to check that one out because I heard nothing but great things. But Let Me In is the one I introduced first, and Matt Reeves is so good directing characters, and we see him in each film that he makes. Either Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes, and The Batman, Cloverfield. That's the type of director who understands how to make you care about the characters and understand the character struggles or anything like that. Let Me In is a prime example on that. And so many layers, so many great stuff that Let Me In would unsettle you, but at the same time, intrigue you. Yeah, Let Me In, great movie. I highly, highly recommend. So much going on with this movie that's just so great and so well directed. It's so well shot as well by Greg Fraser. Yeah, Let Me In. This next three are like family fun movies. Nothing's too hard like Let Me In or Orphan. The first one on top, we have Arachnophobia. This is basically what it is. It's about this group of family move into a house, and we got spiders, and they have to deal with spiders, and it's a fun movie. This is a movie that kind of chilled my spine because I hate spiders. I really do hate spiders. Anything with the insects, I hate centipedes. Ugh. But this is so much fun. John Goodman as a exterminator, come on, you gotta love John Goodman. I mean, he's so charismatic in this movie. This is a really fun movie, really great, really underappreciated as well that people need to watch today. Still blurring my mind. I saw this movie probably 2018, 19, something like that. It's been a while that I've seen this movie, but I remember it being so much fun that people need to talk more about. It's great. I heard that they were gonna make a remake of this. I'm not too sure. If they ever do a remake of this, I don't know. This is great already. Like, we don't need a remake, to be honest. But it's really great. So many great unsettling moments, chilling moments that it just crawls on you because you're dealing with spiders. Like, no, thank you. I don't like spiders, but this is a great creature feature. Almost feel like a B movie, even though it's not a B movie. But yeah, Arachnophobia is fantastic. It's so much fun. It's a fun movie. That's what it needed to be. It's a fun creature feature B movie. Monster House. Oh man, this is a childhood favorite of mine. I saw it in theaters, which is awesome. And this is another movie that been played all the time in Cartoon Network when October kicks in. This is a great, someone dark movie for a kids movie. There's some aspect in the movie that go really dark for a kids movie that just shocked me as in a young adult revisiting the movie. Oh my gosh, yeah, I actually forgot they went there. Like, wow. But it's also another great creature feature movie. It's a stop motion 3D anime movie. I don't know how it can look on DVD, on Blu-ray. What I'm saying, it's not DVD. You stupid Bernie, it's not DVD. It's a Blu-ray. I don't know how it can look on Blu-ray because I'm kind of worried revisiting this movie if it's outdated or not, because it's a 3D motion capture movie, almost similar to the Polar Express style. But I remember being this movie so awesome and wonderful and so much fun. I love the character. I love the design of the house. It's so cool and so lived in and the idea of the story is just so much fun. It's almost feel like an 80s. This type of movie that would come out in the 80s. Totally. You got this group of kids trying to figure out what this house is, what's going on with the house. It's a self-discovery. There's more to it, and there's more behind what the house is, and it's just so much fun. And this is something I'm really want to revisit. Actually, I'm in the mood. I'm actually in the mood to be visiting Monster House. It's an underrated movie that I don't see a lot of people adding this in the top 10s, or not a lot of people talk about the movie. Probably overshadowed by the other great horror movies. Or maybe because this is a kid's movie, it's nothing too spectacular what they think of. Yes, it is a kid's movie, but it's more than a kid's movie. It's a great horror movie. Last but not least, you're probably going to be questioning why this movie. I was a big fan of the show. I love the show. It's one of the best things ever. When I saw it in Cartoon Network in the early 2000s, love the show. But it's Goosebumps, the movie, starring Jack Black. Yeah, this is underrated. This is not beloved by anybody, but I heard some of my friends, they keep saying like, yeah, it's a good movie. It's a really fun movie. And yeah, This is one of the movies that, when Twitter dropped, I'm like, I'm not too sure about this because I was a big fan of the show. I love the show, and the show is very nostalgic to me. I don't know how you're gonna do it. Yeah, Black Paint, All Out Stein. I don't know how you're gonna do it. So I went in very low expectation in theaters, and blew me away. It actually is one of this is the type of film that's very pleasant surprise. It actually surprised me. Like, this is actually a good movie, and it's a really good movie. A very different, unique film that's very different from the show. It's not aligning to the show. It's separate from the show. That's what makes it so great, because this is unique. This is stands on its own, and I do enjoy the sequel. But this is really fun, and you see some familiar characters, some familiar monsters like Slappy, for example, the blob that ate everyone, the Prime Mantis, the Yeti that the werewolf from Swamp, the gnomes. Like, you see some familiar, iconic monsters that you see on the show. And Slappy is so great in this. But yeah, this is a really fun movie. Yes, there's some, cheesy moments. I mean, come on, it's a PG rated movie. I do kind of wish they would take it more in the horror realm, like, go full on horror, like, let's make it, PG-13, right? But it's PG. And, it took me a surprise. It's a really fun Halloween movie that kids can enjoy and adults can enjoy. It's a really fun movie. It's a great companion piece to the Goosebumps TV show. There you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below what are the horror film that you think is underrated, and maybe it's film that I'm not seeing that I may check out. I don't know. Who knows? But anyways, have a great day. Keep watching some horror movies in the month of October. So yeah. Take care.